Hey guys, what's happening? This is Forgo Nation. Today we're going to talk about Rachel Summers. And Rachel looks pretty freaking sweet, guys, I do have to say. But she did get a little bit of a nerf, which is kind of bull crap, but we'll talk about that in a moment. The way that I got old girl is I got her from the danger room. I purchased the pack here and collected all this. This wasn't really too bad actually to do, guys. You see I'm only 35% progress here, but you get her at tier 2 pretty quickly. It doesn't take too long, so not too bad. Now, is it worth it? Is she worth it? I don't really think so, guys. I mean, she's going to be a really good striker because she uses her 4 a lot, and that's a mind control skill, which works pretty awesome. But the thing is, it lasts for 5 seconds. It'll make a difference, but if you already have Sue, and especially if you have Scarlet, there's really no need other than just having another toy on the shelf, to be perfectly honest, guys. Like, I really like Rachel as a character, but she just isn't. After playing Kid Omega, I'm a bit disappointed in this. So let's talk about her build. She has almost 22,000 energy attack. She has 120 attack speed, 33 crit rate, which actually gets a bump from her 5th skill, I believe. And she has 177 critical damage, 50% ignore defense, max ignore defense, and max skill cooldown. She has no Urus. All gears are 20. She's a level 60 character. And all of her skills are 6. You can take a look at her passive. She increases guaranteed dodge by 40%. Sorry, buddy, not right now. She increases dodge by 40%, which is pretty cool. She can penetrate super armor and all damage immune. 35% chance of that, which is pretty awesome, guys. Her 1 skill, all defense down, that doesn't apply. Yep. More slaps in the face. More all defense down, that doesn't apply. What a bum deal, man. Every time I look at that, that bums me out. And then we got a bind, fear, and stun. But in all fairness, guys, I guess we should get used to it because it looks like Marvel's going to keep doing this kind of stuff. The passive, immune to charm, immunity to dominance and spirit, which is mind control. Could be useful in PvP, 70% chance to become immune to mind damage. Her 4th skill has that mind control, and the nerf is where it says damage received increased by 10%. That was 25% if I remember correctly. So yeah, that dropped her damage down a little bit. And honestly, guys, I don't think that was a very smart move on Netmarvel's part. If you want to motivate people to buy that pack, you got to make the character worthwhile. She's got to offer something, or he or she's got to offer something that is useful. An extra good striker, yeah, it's all good, but she's not offering nothing new that we don't already have. We already have Scarlet, which offers a 10-second mind control, which is much better than this, and offers all defense down at the same time. So Scarlet's is massive. And then you got Sue Storm, who has the 5-second charm. Well, that's what I mean, guys. You know, I don't know. It's kind of. We'll look at something here in a second. Her 5th skill has invincibility, which does give her super armor, which is nice for 5 seconds. And there's that crit rate bump by 30%, so all you need is 45% crit rate to max out her crit rate. She has an all attack buff by 30%, which is nice, and a heal. Something that would have made her a little bit better, guys, is having a bigger heal. And the reason, there's a couple things that really sucks about this girl. I was hoping they would change this cooldown. I mean, we got a cooldown time of, 8 seconds here, and that's not that bad. But then we got a freaking 10-second cooldown on this 5. And you really want to chain that 4 and that 5 together, put the damage proc on the 5. You want to hit the 4 first, then the 5. And, yeah, man, it sucks. You know, damage procs trigger about every 7 seconds as long as you're doing hits. So you're going to have 3 seconds where you're pretty much just running around, and it's just annoying. This heal should be better because you can take a lot of damage in that 3 seconds. So it'd be nice to have a bigger heal so she could, you know, survive a little bit better. I mean, it's just, when you're trying to do the 4-5 combo, I mean, if you're splitting it up and you're doing like 5 one moment and getting that 5 seconds of invincibility, then later on you're using the 4, yeah, you'll have better survivability, but you won't have the damage. When you chain that 4 and that 5 together on a damage proc, and the way damage procs work is you're wanting to get the damage on one attack. So when you get the 4, you hit the 4 first, you get the residual damage from the 4 and the mind control, then you hit the 5 and all that damage comes on the 5. It just makes a big difference. If you just proc on the 5 or the 4, yeah, you'll do okay damage, but it won't be as good as the 4 or 5, which is when people play, they try to, you know, play the character optimally if they can. Her leadership increases mind resist by 40%. Okay, could be useful in PvP. And that cooldown, guys, honestly, it really irks me. Like, I really wish they'd freaking change that. I don't like that at all. So here's that 5 skill. And it's a beautiful skill. And something else about her that I talked about in the beta is her animations. This animation isn't so bad. Her 5 isn't so bad. But this 3, that dang thing, look at how much the screen that thing is taking up. You cannot see what the hell the world boss is doing. And sometimes that causes you to die. You got the 1. Now this is an awesome looking skill. I love the fist coming down and pounding. That's pretty cool. I mean, her animations are great. I just wish that 3 was a little bit more transparent. But the rotation is 4, cancel into the 5. And there I didn't even get the 4 off. And that's something else. I really wish they would have made her 4 to where you could just cancel it straight into the 5. But you got to let it play a little bit, then hit the 5. And a lot of times that damage proc will trigger on the 4. So, I don't know, guys. It's kind of annoying at times because a lot of times you'll hit that 4 and I don't care how fast you are. You have to wait for that 4 to start. And sometimes when it starts, that proc will trigger and it's pretty freaking annoying. So you're running around, running through your rotations, trying to get your proc back on the 4 or 5. It can be quite annoying. And see this debris that's rolling around her? We'll do this 5 again. Now you see that debris? That crap will trigger your proc also. So she's really kind of a nightmare to keep the proc where it belongs. And honestly, guys, it makes her gameplay much more difficult. I mean, when you're running around and trying to dodge everything, it's just, it's annoying when you're not timing your procs correctly, and it's very difficult with her. It's annoying. She's not like, her animations are beautiful. I think the character's awesome as far as aesthetics and how she looks. But I really, honestly, if they would have just changed this cooldown and make this thing an 8-second cooldown, even an 8.5-second cooldown, it would have been so much better. And I really think if you're going to have a 10-second cooldown on this thing, you should have a bigger heal. It would really help her survivability, guys. I'm telling you. If you're doing the 4 or 5 combo, it would help her survivability big time. She has a stage 6 Power of Angry Hawk set. She has, now I got a pretty good Obelisk on her. I got a crit damage with 39% crit damage, which is really awesome. We got some 22% fire damage, and we got 10% damage proc. And I chose to go with fire damage because her main damage dealing skills are fire damage or flame damage, whatever you want to call them. And even, guys, that 3, it does okay. It doesn't do real good damage. The 2 and the 1, they just don't do that good of damage. But that 4 and 5 sure the hell do. So I opted to go with fire damage. And she has no uniform. So guys, let's do exactly like we did with Kid Omega and take her into some Ebony and let's see how she does. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so when we did stage 45 the last time with Kid Omega, we used Kid Omega's leadership at 40% mind damage, and we used 2 support characters offering 45% damage out supervillains apiece. Now for her, we're going to be using Ebony, who gives a 40% increase to energy attack from his leadership, and he gives 25% damage dealt to supervillain types from his uniform effect. And we're going to use Ghost Panther for that 45% damage dealt to supervillains and that 50% increase to fire damage. So it balances out to pretty close to the same. I mean, there's a little bit of a difference, but pretty close to the same. Now she has a 200% damage proc, and Kid Omega, I believe, had a 180% damage proc. And I gotta tell you guys, because Kid Omega has better cooldown times, it's easier to time his proc. This is what you're doing a lot with her. You're running around, you're killing tons of time. Yeah, you can mind control Ebony, but man, you can take some damage pretty quick, and that's something else. When you hit that 4, and say you mind control, well, if Ebony gets off a little bit one of his attacks, you can take a lot of damage before you kick in that mind control. If you just hit the 4, got the mind control automatically, and then hit into the 5, it would be a different story. But because you have to wait just a brief moment for that thing to start, you can take damage. So you got to be real careful with it. And when I'm playing her, I just hit the 4, 5, 3, 1. And if you guys notice, I'm kind of varying my rotation. I'm kind of going back and forth. One rotation, I'll hit the 4, 5, and get the proc on the 5 like I did right there. And then I'll hit the 3, and then I'll hit the 1. Then I'll run around, and when that mind control is off cooldown, I'll go ahead and hit the mind control. Boom! Now a lot of times what happens is the damage proc lands on the mind control like it did there. Now you guys are more than welcome to run around and wait, but I find if you control Ebony and kind of keep them locked down, because we're not using any strikers, guys. Now if I was using Scarlet and Sue, it'd be a different story. I'd probably be just doing 4-5, 3-1, run around, and you want to run, and if you are doing that rotation, you're going to have to run around while that debris is floating around her, because believe you me, guys, if Ebony gets near you and that debris is floating around you, that thing can trigger the proc. It's just, she's built for the rage, guys. I mean, I hate to say that, but she is. She's built for that freaking CTP of rage. And I mean, she does good damage. It's, you know, I think she's a little bit stronger than Kid Omega, but not by much. Not by much, guys. And I just don't think it's really worth the crystal purchase. I don't think she's worth it unless you really love Rachel and, you know, and you want to get her and build her. I mean, I can't blame you. I mean, if you love your character, you should do that. But I don't think she's worth it, guys. Like right there, did you see that? That debris set off that proc, bastard. I mean, I really wish that debris was like more transparent, where it just kind of floated around and didn't actually do damage. Of course, there's an counter argument to that, to where it would be better if it does do damage, but because it deals hits, man, it sets off that proc early and it annoys the hell out of me. I can't stand it. And I honestly, guys, but I could deal with that if this cooldown was better on that 5. Honestly, that's my biggest complaint. And I would like to see her have a better heal. 15% isn't a huge heal. It's okay, it's decent. You know, it allows us to come in here with no strikers at all, no anti-venom, no nothing. You know, but yeah, I think it should be about 25 to 30%. That would be a whole lot better. Of max HP, that would be so much better. But as you guys can see, she can definitely do this. You know, stage 45 with no strikers at all. You know, with this build, no Urus, level 60. You know, she is fairly strong. And like I said, I think she's a little stronger than Kid Omega, but not by much. And I mean not by much, guys. You know, Kid Omega is way easier to play, and he's completely free to play. This girl, she's a little rough around the edges to play, guys. I'm not going to joke around with you. It's tough, man. It's tough. Like right there, it worked out perfect. Hit the 4-5, lots of damage. It's beautiful. And remember, guys, when we did the Kid Omega run, you know, it took all the way to the end, whereas with her, it isn't. So, like I said, she is a bit stronger. Not by leaps and bounds, but a little bit stronger. So, guys, you know, all in all, I think them cooldowns need to be changed. I do think she'll have her uses, especially as a striker. I think she'll be a terrific striker. But other than that, yeah, she's just going to be another character on the old roster probably. So let me know what you think about Rachel. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.